and let us all do we can to build a better future.
So here's what we got. Somebody from corporate media acknowledging the fact that CNN needs to get back to its roots. What have we said about corporate media? ABC, CBS, MSNBC, Fox News, CNN. They're kind of reactors at this point. A lot of pundits that make six-figure salaries. We're not really getting real journalism because at the end of the day, you have these politicians who go to these various media outlets and are well protected, safe and sound. They're not being challenged. These politicians and these people who are the top 1% are not being held accountable for some of their corruption and their inactions. They're not being held accountable for the damages that they do. Remember, the whole idea of journalism is to hold those power accountable and to inform the people about those that are abusing power. But under previous Democratic and Republican presidential administrations, we have seen, unfortunately, whistleblowers and journalists, investigative reporters being censored, silenced, or imprisoned. But yet, we got this video where CNN's John Malone wants CNN to go back to journalism. It's a little bit of a long video, but let's play it in its entirety because you all have to see this for yourselves. Hang on.
When it comes to Warner Brothers Discovery about being 5 times levered and still having a lot of cash flow come from the good old linear TV business, how do you reassure them?
Well, my understanding is, first of all, that it has been indicated that right out of the box, well, first of all, the deal may happen sooner than people think. Number two is right out of the box, the leverage. The initial leverage is going to be lower than people think. Number three is the free cash flow characteristics of this combined business, and then enhanced by synergies, operating synergies generated fairly quickly, will take that leverage down quite fast. And number four, this is investment-grade debt. Long-term, cheaper interest rates, right?
Yeah.
Higher cash flow through synergy, and a rapid pay down of anything that is regarded as excess leverage. I think that shouldn't really be the focus. I think the focus should be
let's pause it right here. And just so everyone understands what they're talking about, apparently there's a place for CNN in the proposed $4.3 billion combination of Warner Media and Discovery. Billionaire media mogul John Malone told CNBC in a recorded interview that aired on Thursday. So this interview did air last week, Thursday. But it's interesting how it kind of flew under the radar. Let's play the rest.
Whether or not these engines of creativity can make stuff that's unique, that the public really wants to see.
You know, they've stated cost synergies at around $3 billion. We've talked a little bit about this previously, but you certainly seem to think there are going to be some significant revenue synergies there. And I wonder why that is and where you see those coming from.
Well, I think just the ability to bolster service offerings with library that exists, you know, deep in the Time Warner vaults is going to be an interesting revenue synergy opportunity. So I would guess that you put the two together and you start launching these direct consumer offerings outside the U.S. where you already have Discovery in place, in language, and on TV screens, you've got a major benefit there in terms of lower marketing costs and higher probability of consumer acceptance.
Well, how
Let's
about
pause
news,
it right here.
John?
Let's pause
Is
right
there
here.
any place
So just to talk about this even further. So back in May, AT&T announced a deal to combine its content unit, Warner Media, with Discovery. Under the agreement, AT&T will unwind its $85 billion acquisition of Time Warner, which closed just about 3 years ago, and form a new separate media company with Discovery. It will bring together AT&T-owned CNN, HBO, and the Warner Brothers Studio and Discovery's channels, including Animal Planet, TLC, and its namesake Discovery Channel. At the time of the announcement, the parties had said they hoped to close the transaction in the middle of next year. I'll play the rest of this video.
for news in a streaming world? And obviously CNN is going to be part of this company. I don't know how to view that. I would assume there's any number of potential suitors for that property should Mr. Zaslav and the board decide that it really doesn't fit.
I would like to see CNN evolve back to the kind of journalism that it started with, and actually have journalists.
Wait, can we pause right there? Can we pause right there? Please, can you just rewind us back for a second?
And then evolve back to the kind of journalism that it started with, and actually have journalists, which would be unique and refreshing. I think.
Pause right there. So YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Did you hear that? Kind of, this is the authoritative source that these social media platforms, CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, they're all the same. Real journalists, hiring real journalists again, going back to its roots again. Turns out they don't have journalists. So then who are these people that are authoritative, having these shows and informing the people? Are they journalists or are they just pundits? Are they reactors, as we would say here? Again, it's really, really warming my soul just to see that and to hear those words. There's a little bit more to the video, so let's play it.
Coward's way out would be to sell it or spin it off and then sell it, do it in some tax-efficient way. There isn't a lot of tax basis, David, in CNN, so a straight sale would probably be a little bit leaky, let's call it, but doable. I do believe that good journalism could have a role in this future portfolio that Discovery Time Warner is going to represent. But I'm just one voice here.
I get this question sometimes, and obviously, I'm very personally fond of David Zaslav. I know you have great respect for him. You paid him a lot of money, and over a 10-year period, Discovery stock has not really done that much, other than the crazy Archegos move. How do you answer those critics who say, well, he's done really well, but we haven't?
I mean, he's the kind of guy that can deliver a Scripps merger or a Time Warner deal. Without the Scripps deal, Discovery would really be in the third tier today, okay? What if you hadn't had David Zaslav there delivering the Scripps deal, okay?
Let's
what
pause
would
it
Discovery
here.
be
Pause
worth
right
today?
Here. This is corporate media. This is the establishment. This is how we get our news. It's not there to inform us. It's there to make the rich richer. It's also there to give us manufactured news. Manufacture stories like, weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, WMDs, remember those? Or Russiagate, or so many other stories that eventually became fake. But yet, remember, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram all say that these are authoritative sources that must be trusted. But we heard it from him. We'd like to see CNN go back to its roots, to see journalists again. I would like to see that day. But we're not going to get it from CNN or MSNBC or Fox. Our media is there to be controlled by those who also control our politicians. And under this administration, and even under previous other Democratic and Republican administrations, whistleblowers, investigative journalists, heroic activists, and people who are speaking truth to power are the ones that are punished. Those that commit the crimes are given cushy jobs, while those who expose corruption and abuse are at risk of losing everything. Free speech is at risk, and these are the same corporate media outlets that not too long ago came into our backyard, YouTube, and started dictating terms to these other big tech moguls here. And now it's all being connected. It's all being connected in order to appease the neoliberal establishment talking points. This is why on the show I call for independent journalists, citizen journalists nationwide to step up. What we're seeing here right now, or what I want to see, is more people across this country doing real journalism, helping those out and informing the people, because we have a system that's designed right now to suppress information, suppress free speech. This is why I'm against any kind of censorship towards any independent media network on social media. We have to stand against the establishment and, more importantly, build a network, a system of networks, so that we can continue to inform the people, because who knows how long this thing on YouTube is going to last. Thank goodness there's Rockfin and Odyssey. At least they respect free thinking media and free speech. But even then, that's still not enough. It's up to all of us. And right there in that interview, we're seeing how our media is being discussed, the content that we consume. This happened under the silent, obedient consent of our politicians, because as I said before, the same people who own our media are the same people who own our politicians.